तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना। पानी पीते। We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and on Tuesday we had started reading the 44th chapter, August 9, 1885, and it is not bad if you can start it again. English page 827, Bengali page 890 or 91. 890. ठाकुर श्री रामकृष्ण दक्षिणेश्वर मंदिरे भक्त देर भक्त संगे. The master on himself and his experiences. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room at Dakshineshwar. Rakhal M. Dvija and his father and other devotees were present. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. After returning from Vrindavan, Rakhal had spent a few days at home. Now he was staying with the master. Latu, Harish and Ramlal were also staying at the temple garden. Sri Ramakrishna was not well. It was the beginning of the illness, subsequently diagnosed as fatal cancer. But this did not disturb the serenity of his mind. Day and night he had only one thought, and that was the spiritual welfare of his disciples. He was guiding them toward the attainment of God. He encouraged them constantly to cultivate knowledge and devotion and warned them of the snares of woman and gold. He was completely indifferent to his own illness and devoted himself wholeheartedly to the fulfillment of his earthly mission. So these are introductory comments by Master Mashe. Dvija was about 16 years old. Yeah, boy. After the death of his mother, his father had married a second time. Dvija often accompanied M to Dakshineshwar, but his father did not approve of it. That is the context. Dvija's father had for a long time been speaking of visiting Sri Ramakrishna. Today he had come to Dakshineshwar. He was the manager of a business firm in Calcutta and had passed his examination in law. Master, to Dvija's father, please don't mind your children coming here. So Thakur's main interest to see that Dvija and other children of his should visit him, grow spiritually, and they should not be hindered by people at home. That is the whole topic. I ask people to live in the world after the awakening of their spiritual consciousness, after extracting gold through hard labor. A man may keep it under earth or in a box or underwater. The gold is not affected after being extracted. I ask people to live in the world in a spirit of detachment. If you break the jackfruit after rubbing oil on your hands, its sticky juice will not smear them. Well, all these are not new things for us. If the unripe mind dwells in the world, the mind gets soiled. One should first attain knowledge and then live in the world. Now, the attainment of knowledge, it seems, need not be full knowledge, but Viveka should become ingrained in a person. If you put milk in water, the milk is spoiled. But this will not happen if butter churned from the milk is put in water. So he has ready example. Dvija's father, that is true, sir. Master smiling. I know why you scold your children. You only threaten them. We read this on that day. The brahmachari said to the snake, you are a fool indeed. I forbid you to bite, but not to hiss. Your enemies would not have beaten you if only you had hissed at them. Your scolding of the children, that is to Dija's father, your scolding of the children is like hissing. Dija's father smiles because as if Thakur is supporting him. That is Thakur's style. So he gains a lot of influence, freedom, love, and then he will tell what he wants. A good son is an indication of his father's spiritual nature. If good water comes out when the reservoir is dug, it only indicates the virtue of the owner. A son is called Atmaja, the self-reborn. There is no difference between you and your son. In one way, you yourself are reborn as your son. This all Upanishad. In one sense, you are a worldly person working in a business office and enjoying worldly life. In another sense, you are a devotee of God in the form of your son. Mm-hmm. You are a devotee of God in the form of your son. Mm-hmm. Wonderful way to catch a man. I heard that you are a very worldly person, but now I find it isn't so. Smiling. You know all this? I understand that you are very circumspect. Perhaps that is why you are nodding your assent to what I am saying. That means you are not clearly expressing your opinion. Dija's father smiles. If your children visit this place, they will be able to know what you really are. how precious one's father is. If a person deceives his father and mother in order to seek religion, he gets only worthless trash. Deceives. He can straight away oppose but not deceive. A man is born with several debts. Debt to his father, the devas, and the rishis. Besides, there is his debt to his mother. Thakur has added, separate. He also has a debt to his wife if he is married. She must be supported. If the wife is chaste, the husband must provide for her after his death. I could not live at Vrindavan on account of my mother. When I remembered that my mother was living in the temple garden here at Dakshineshwar, I could not feel peaceful at Vrindavan. So through his own example, he impresses the thing. I ask people to live in the world and at the same time fix their minds on God. I don't ask them to give up the world. I say fulfill your worldly duties and also think of God. Okay. Dvija's father. I tell my children that they should attend to their studies. I don't forbid them to come to you, but I don't want them to waste time in frivolities with the youngsters. Achha. He has gone on in a safety guarding. Master, referring to Dvija, this boy must have been born with some good tendencies. Why are the two other brothers different from him? Why is he alone spiritually minded? Will you be able to compel him not to visit this place? Sooner or later, everyone unfolds his inborn tendencies. So what will you do? Dija's father. Yes, that is true. Sri Ramakrishna came down from the coach and sat on the floor beside Dvija's father. Why? While talking with him, he touched him now and then. So by touch, Thakur used to remove the obstructions in a man, the opposing forces in a man, without his knowledge, just by touching. So that is the thing. Thakur wants at any cost that Dvija should not be hampered. So he is dealing in various ways with his father and touching him. It was nearly evening. Sri Ramakrishna asked him and the others to show Dvija's father the temples. He said to them, I should have I should, I should have accompanied him myself if I were well. He asked someone to give sweets to the young men and said to Dvija's father, let the children have a little refreshment. So how many ways is showing that they are not missing anything here. It is customary. Dvija's father visited the temples and the images and took a stroll in the garden. Now he has come again. Sri Ramakrishna engaged happily in conversation with Bhupen, Dvija, M, and others on the southeast porch of his room. He playfully slapped Bhupen and M on the back. He said to Dvija with a laugh, how I talk with your father, Dvija, that means deliberately has done everything. Dvija's father returned to Sri Ramakrishna's room after dusk. He intended to leave shortly. He was feeling hot. Sri Ramakrishna fanned him himself. Bapre, bapre. Out of his way completely. Anything he will do so that the small boy's spirituality should not be obstructed. In a few minutes, the father took leave of the master. Sri Ramakrishna stood up to bid him farewell. Perfect host, perfect host. It was 8 o'clock. Sri Ramakrishna was talking to Mahimacharan, Rakhal M, and one or two companions of Mahimacharan were in the room. Mahimacharan was going to spend the night at the temple garden. Master to Mahima, well, how do you find Kedar? Has he only seen milk or has he drunk it too? Mahima, yes, he is enjoying bliss. That means he has drunk also. Master, Nitya Gopal? Mahima, very good. He is in a lofty state of mind. Master, yes, well. What about Girish Ghosh? If you can analytically find out the spirituality of a man, your spirituality grows. Mahima, he too has developed nicely, but he belongs to another class. Master, and Narendra? Mahima, he is now in the state I was in 15 years ago. I think we are led up to this point also. That is really pompousness. Master, the younger Naren, how guileless he is. Mahima, yes, quite guileless. Master, you are right. Reflecting a little, let me see who else. It will be sufficient for the youngsters who come here if they know only two things. If they know these, they will not have to practice much discipline and austerity. First, who I am, and second, who they are. Many of the youngsters belong to the inner circle. What I am? God. What they have come to fulfill his mission. Leela Sahajara. And some of them belong to inner, others are outer. Those belonging to the inner circle will not attain liberation. I shall have to assume a human body again in a northwesterly direction. I feel peace of mind when I see the youngsters. How can I feel joy at the sight of those who have begotten children and are engaged in lawsuits and are involved in woman and God? How could I live without seeing pure souled persons? Mahima Charan recited some texts from the scriptures. He also described various mystic rites of the Tantra. That is showing off, Master. Well, some say that my soul going into Samadhi, well, some say that my soul going into samadhi flies about like a bird in the Mahakasha, the infinite space. Sure. Some say me that is one aspect. Once a sadhu of Rishikesh came here. He said to me, there are 5 kinds of samadhi. I find you have experimented them all. In these samadhis, one feels the sensation of the spiritual current to be like the movement of an ant, a fish, a monkey, a bird, or a serpent. Sometimes the spiritual current rises through the spine, crawling like an ant. Sometimes in samadhi, the soul swims joyfully in the ocean of divine ecstasy like a fish. Sometimes when I lie down on my side, I feel the supreme currents pushing me like a monkey and playing with me joyfully. So everything Thakur has experienced, I remain still. That current, like a monkey, suddenly with one jump reaches this Sahasrara. That is why you see me jump up with a star. Sometimes Thakur suddenly jumps up, and the meaning is this, that like a monkey in one jump, the Kundalini wants to reach Brahman. Sometimes again, the spiritual current rises like a bird hopping from one branch to another. The place where it rests feels like fire. It may hop from Muladhara to Swadhisthana, from Swadhisthana to the heart, and then gradually to the head. He has not mentioned all the centers here. Bird is there, na? So you can fly and land somewhere. Sometimes the spiritual current moves up like a snake, going in a zigzag way. At last it reaches the head and I go into samadhi. A man's spiritual consciousness is not awakened unless his kundalini is aroused. So that is the physiological description. The kundalini dwells in the muladhara. When it is aroused, it passes along the sushumna nerve, goes through the centers of Swadhisthana, Manipur, now the Manipur name has come on, and so on. And at last reaches the head. This is called the movement of the Mahavayu, the spiritual current. It culminates in Samadhi. Okay, there is nothing. One's spiritual consciousness is not awakened by the mere reading of books. One should also pray to God. The Kundalini is aroused if the aspirant feels restlessness for God. To talk of knowledge, man, to talk of knowledge from mere study and hearsay, what will that accomplish? So through meditation, one should experience. Just before my attaining the state of mind, it had been revealed to me how the Kundalini is aroused, how the lotuses of the different centers blossoms forth, and how all this culminates in Samadhi. This is a very secret experience. I saw a boy, 22 or 23 years old, exactly resembling me, enter the Sushumna nerve and commune with the lotuses, touching them with his tongue. He began with the center at the anus and passed through the centers at the sexual organ, navel, and so on. The different lotuses of these centers, 4 petal, 6 petal, 10 petal, and so forth. Had been drooping. The different lotuses of these centers, 4 petal, 6 petal, 10 petal, and so on, had been drooping. At the touch, at his touch, they stood erect. That is the detail of the experiences. When he reached the heart, I distinctly remember it and communed with the lotus there, touching it with his tongue. The 12 petal lotus, which was hanging head down, stood erect and opened its petals. Then he came to the 16th petal lotus in the throat and the 2 petal lotus in the forehead. And last of all, the 1,000 petal lotus in the head blossomed. Since then, I have been in this state. That means he has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi and then he is in this state. Sri Ramakrishna came down to the floor and sat near Mahimacharan, M, and a few other devotees were near him. Rakhal also was in the room, master to Mahima. For a long time, I have wanted to tell you my spiritual experiences, but I could not. I feel like telling you today. You say that by mere sadhana, one can attain a state of mind like mine. But it is not so. There is something special here, referring to himself. So, about himself, he has told everything, and this is not common experiences. There is something special here. That is what he is telling now. Sri Ramakrishna came down to the floor and sat near Mahima M and a few other devotees were near him. Rakhal also was in the room. Master to Mahima. For a long time I have read this. Wanted to tell you my spiritual experiences, but I could not. I feel like telling you today. You say that by mere sadhana, one can attain a state of mind like mine, but it is not so. There is something special here, referring to himself. So clearly stating, Rakhal. Rakhal, M and the other devotees eager to hear what the master was going to say. Okay. Master, God talked to me. It was not merely his vision. Yes, he talked to me. Under the banyan tree, I saw him coming from the Ganges. Then we laughed so much by way of playing with me. He cracked my fingers there. Then I talked. Yes, he talked to me. So that is a clear statement. Okay, we proceed only. Rakhal and the other became eager to hear what the master was going to say. Master, God talked to me. It was not merely his vision. Yes, he talked with me. Under the banyan tree, I saw him coming from the Ganges. Then we laughed. We laughed so much. By way of playing with me, he cracked my fingers like that. Then he talked. Yes, he talked to me. For 3 days, I wept continuously, and he revealed to me what is in the Vedas, the Puranas, the Tantras, and the other scriptures. So that is how his knowledge came to him. God himself read. One day, he showed me the Maya of Mahamaya. A small light inside a, a room began to grow. And at last it enveloped the whole community, whole universe, shown here, and whole universe element. Mm. The wind moved a little of the scum, and immediately the water became visible. But in the twinkling of an eye, scum from the sides came, dancing to end again, covered the waters. Various experiences he is describing. He revealed to me that the water was like Satchidananda and the scum like Maya. On account of the Maya, Satchidananda is not seen, though now and then one may get a glimpse of it. It again may be covered it. Okay. God has done or himself has done. Anyway, it's all right. It's a plain. On account of Maya, Satchidananda is not seen, though now and then one only gets a glimpse of it. Again, Maya covers it. There is nothing new here. Today we are reading. Okay. God reveals the nature of the devotees in God revealed the nature of the devotees to me before they arrive. I saw Chaitanya's partly singing and dancing near the Panchavati between the banyan tree and the bakul tree. I noticed Balaram there. If it weren't for him, who would there be to supply me with sugar candy and such thoughts, such things, pointing to him? And I saw him too. I just listened to her. I had seen Keshav before I actually met him. I had seen him and his party in my samadhi. In front of one sat a wonderful of men. Keshav looked like a peacock stirring with the tail spread tail spread out. The tail meant his followers. I saw a red gem on Keshav's head. That indicated his rajas. He said to his disciples, please listen to what he, meaning the master, is serving. He is saying, I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, these people have the gospel of enlightenment. Why should I talk to them? Then the mother explained to me that it would be like this is the Kali Yuga. Today, reading. Keshav and his followers got a lesson here, meaning himself. Here means himself. The tail meant his followers. Okay. I saw a red gem on Keshav's head. That indicated his rajas, restlessness or dynamism. He said to his disciples, please listen to what he, meaning Sri Ramakrishna, is saying. I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, these persons hold the views of English men. Why would I talk to them? Then our mother explained that this is necessary in Kali Yuga. Kedar and his followers got from here, meaning himself. Long ago, a young man named Gopal Sen used to winter me. He also dwells in the there must be something special here. Long ago, a young man named Gopal Sen used to visit me. He who dwells in the placed his foot on Gopal's chest. Gopal said in an ecstatic mood, you will have to wait here a long time. I cannot live any more such worldly people. He took leave of me. Afterwards, I heard that he was dead. Perhaps he was born as Nitya Gopal. Okay. I have had many amazing visions. I had a vision of the indivisible Satchidananda. Inside it, I saw two groups with a fencer between them. How much curious. I had seen Keshav before I actually met him. I had seen him and his party in my samadhi. In front of me sat a room full of men. Keshav looked like a peacock sitting with its tail spread out. काय झालं? ऐकू येत नाहीये? हा, what happened? What happened? Hello? Hello? What happened? इथे connect होत नाही. But I am speaking ना. Any difficulty? No. Reconnecting. That means some problem with his phone. I think I continue. He wants some explanation. We are reading about. There must be something special here. Long ago, a young man named Gopal Sen used to visit me. He who dwells in me placed his foot on Gopal's chest. Gopal said in an ecstatic mood, "You will have to wait here a long time. I cannot live anymore with worldly people." He took leave of me. Afterwards, I heard that he was dead. Perhaps he was born as Nitya Gopal. Acha. Oh, that means he had not fulfilled at that time, but he is born as Nitya Gopal. Oh, Mama. I have had many amazing visions. I had a vision of the indivisible Satchidananda. Inside it, I saw two groups with a fence between them. On one side were Keshav, Chuni, and other devotees who believe in the personal God. On the other side was a luminous space like a heap of red brick dust. Inside it was seated Narendra, immersed in samadhi. Seeing him absorbed in meditation, I called aloud, "Oh Narendra." He opened his eyes a little. I came to realize that he had been born in another form in Shimulia area of Calcutta, in a Kayastha family. What to be explained here? A caste. At once I said to the Divine Mother, "Mother, entangle him in Maya, otherwise he will give up his body in Samadhi." Kedar is a believer in the personal God, peeped in and ran away with a shudder. So clear experience of the indivisible and the divisible. Bapri. This is how we come to know what is what in spirituality. Therefore, I feel that it is the Divine Mother herself who dwells in this body and plays with the devotees. When I first had my exalted state of mind, my body would radiate light. My chest was always flushed. Then I said to the Divine Mother, Mother, do not reveal thyself outwardly. This is another speciality of Thakur. He does not want to show anything outwardly. Please go inside. This is why my complexion is so dull now. If my body were still luminous, people would have tormented me. A crowd would always have thronged here. Now there is no outer manifestation that keeps weeds away. Only genuine devotees will remain with me now. Do you know why I have this illness? With a purpose. It has the same significance. Those whose devotion to me has a selfish motive behind, it will run away at the sight of my illness. So he knows everything consciously. At the sight of my illness. I cherished a desire. I said to the mother, "Oh mother, I shall be the king of the devotees." Again, this thought arose in my mind. He who sincerely prays to God will certainly come here. He must. You see, that is what is happening now. Only people of that kind come. My parents knew who dwells inside this body. Father had a dream at Gaya. In that dream, Raghuveer said to him, I shall be born as your son. Raghuveer is it? This should be read only to be impressed. Oh, I want to see whether it is Raghuveer. Raghuveer बोले छे not Gaya Vishnu. That is first time we are hearing in the dream Raghuveer told. God alone dwells inside this body. Such renunciation of woman and God could I have accomplished that myself I have never enjoyed a woman even in a dream. So he is pointing out that actually see the signs and decide that he is the avatar, not only avatar, but avatar over Ishta. And through his body, God is doing everything. Now we can close here today. Huh? Today I read because the thing is very clear itself, and Thakur himself is describing, there was nothing to comment on that. Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viriritam Kalma Shapaham Shravana Mangalam Shrimadatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.